This video is brought to you by Reaper Apparel Company. Stay tuned until after the video to learn how you can save 10% off of your order. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan, and welcome to today's edition of The Fuel, where today we're going to talk about 2015 Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup Series presented by Michelin from the Daytona International Speedway all the way back during Rolex 24 weekend. So let's go ahead and get into things. Race number one was a night race, and each of these races are 45 minutes. MX-5 Cup produces some of the best racing that IMSA has to offer. Not really the case this time around. It fell a little bit short of expectations for a couple reasons. The number 19 of Nate Cicero started from the pole, but the number 13 of Weston Workman stalls the car on the pace laps, so they had to start the timer a little bit early, and Weston Workman ended up 2 laps down in both races, so this was just a shit weekend for him. So we got a green flag with 41 minutes left. There were some 3 wide moves going into turn 1. Everyone was on wet tires at this point, as there was light rain during this race that would actually get a little bit heavier as the race went on. We had 4 wide going down the backstretch. Cicero and Wagner break away from the pack by 2 seconds at the conclusion of lap 1. But then Nate Cicero takes a big gamble and goes in to get slick tires. But they don't have professional pit crews. So it took them almost 2 minutes to get the tires on, so he nearly went a lap down. And then without his drafting help, Wagner gets caught by the rest of the pack, but was still in the lead. Todd Burris gets penalized for shortcutting the Le Mans chicane. Gonzalez takes the lead from Wagner going into the Le Mans chicane. Tyler Gonzalez, I believe his name is. Wagner comes in, Gresham Wagner also comes in with his well, it looked like he was doing the same thing that Cicero was doing, but it was actually for a mechanical issue at the back of the car, so he was out. And then the pack was back together at the front of the field. Gonzalez's advantage is gone, and he almost gets dumped by Goulart going into turn 1, so that could have been big. The 65 of Cornet is leading as the rain is beginning to pick up with 21 minutes to go. Gonzalez takes the lead back going into turn 1. The number 42 of DeLong door slams the 80 of Tyler in the International Horseshoe while battling in the top 5. And he only gets a warning from race control, so he should consider himself lucky for that one. The number 23 of Atacanis nearly bends it going into turn 1 as the rain is getting heavier. The number 95 of Farhan Sijic destroys the left front wheel and axle after hitting something in the infield section. He was able to get it back to the pits though. Sally McNulty, who actually has her own YouTube channel, spins going into turn 1. And now visible spray is coming off the tires at this point, so sure sign that the rain was getting heavier. Bryce Cornett gets a push into the lead from Tyler by Gonzalez with 9 minutes to go. Cornett gets challenged by Gonzalez for the lead, and Gonzalez takes it at the International Horseshoe. The number 15 of Sally Mott spins in the Western Horseshoe. There were 6 females in this race. Glenn McGee gets spun coming back onto the oval section. Mozo drops the wheel into the grass and loses several spots. The number 32 of Christian Hodlin looks like he's had an engine failure and parks it on the inside of Daytona turn 4. And this results in a 4-course yellow as a result. This was a dumb yellow in my opinion. The 32 was well out of the way. There was no need for this caution, and it ruined this race as far as I'm concerned, because it ends the race under caution. So Tyler Gonzalez wins the first race under yellow. What a shitty end to what was an interesting race. So I gave this first race a 5 out of 10. Race number 2 the next day was under sunny conditions this time. This one got a kick in the teeth for a different reason. Nate Cicero started from the pole for the second straight race. And right at the beginning, this was a disaster. Gresham Wagner and I think his name is Nate Bouchard or something like that, come together at the front of the field, and more than half the field get wadded up in a huge wreck. So that was more than half the race gone right there, because it took for frickin' ever to clean this wreck up. Remember, this is a 45-minute time limit, and it took them almost half an hour to get this wreck cleaned up. So that's this race ruined right from the get-go. The race finally gets back going with 16 minutes left. Mazda gets a drive-through penalty for starting that big wreck as Ethan Tyler spins off into the grass in the infield section. Cicero still leads, but now has Jared Thomas right on his heels. Now, on the plus side, once they did get back going again, and they had 16 minutes left, this race, the second half of this race, was actually really good. Of course, the first half was non-existent because they were running under caution for that fucking long. But once they got going again, the race actually got pretty good. Cicero, Messenger, and Thomas and West were all battling for the lead with 7 minutes left, with the 11 of Cruz right behind them. And the lead pack was getting bigger and bigger, so more people were joining the way. Grant West gets hit with a 10-second post-race penalty for an incident with the 44 of Gossett, so that pretty much ruins his race. Messenger gets hung out as Weston Workman is sticking his nose into the lead battle, even though he's 2 laps down, which is pretty shitty on his part. Jeremy Fletcher gets a push from Workman to the lead, coming to the white flag, but then Fletcher gets away as the rest of the pack battles for second, but then the rest of the pack catch up to him and basically blow by him because the draft is a big thing with these cars. Jared Thomas gets a bump from Burris to get the lead in turns 3 and 4. Burris tries to make the move at the line, but comes up just short. And Jared Thomas wins race number 2 by half a car length. Great finish, but that wreck at the beginning really soured this race. This race could have been so much better. But the second half did kind of rescue it. So I went ahead and gave the second race a 6 out of 10. My final rating overall for the MX-5 Cup at Daytona, it would average out to a 5.5, but I'm going to round up and give it a 6 as my final rating. So 6 out of 10. Solid, but it could have been so much better. Like, that yellow flag at the end of race 1, that was dumb. And then that huge wreck in race 2, which pretty much wiped out 2/3 of the race. It could have been a lot better. But, I mean, when it was green, the racing was actually pretty good. It's just dumb shit happened that caused it to get a lower rating than it probably deserved. But, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But anywho, that's going to do it for this edition of The Fuel. Thank you very much for watching. And until next time, this is the PackerMan signing out. See you later. Hey, what's happening, ladies and germs? This is the PackerMan letting you know that tonight's video was sponsored by Reaper Apparel Company. By clicking on the affiliate link down below in the description box, you'll be able to browse through many of their different wares, such as hats, t-shirts, hoodies, and other cool items. When you place an order and you go to checkout, be sure to type in the code PackerMan and you'll be able to save 10% off of your order. Reaper Apparel Company. Apparel to die for. Hey, ladies and germs, just want to say thank you for watching tonight's video. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and also check out my other channels, Isaac the Survivalist and Our Honor Defend Archives, if you're a Buckeye fan. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.